Today, we're going to talk about the language of ceremony so that everybody has a chance to use the language where it still, where it still is. We still do a lot of ceremony in our language, but a lot of times when we do ceremony, people don't know the words and their language on how to pray. So that's what we're going to discuss today. So the first thing we have to know is pisono, the medicines that we use, and how to say those medicines. The first one is ulima husk, and it literally means sweet grass. The other one is tamawe, which in our case we use red willow tobacco, and sage. And again, there's over 200 different species of sage that we use. Most of us feel it's a pleasure to use the what they call buffalo sage. Is one of the ones that we use, but there's also a pearly forever. There's a plant here in New Brunswick that's actually right in our region. That's also used as sage, and there's, like I said, there's over 200 species of sage. Even the sage that you have in your spice jar can be used for smudging. So sage is a very important one. And of course, ulima husk teaches us about preparing for the 7 generations. So when we pick our sweetgrass, our ulima husk, we make sure that we don't pick the roots, because we have to leave the root behind in order for it to grow for the following year. My elder, Charles Solomon, whenever we would go pick sweetgrass, he would wait for me while I offered tobacco to the first plant, and I would say, I'm not picking you because I need to leave you behind for the first generation. I go to the second one, the third one, and do the same thing and make my offer. And then finally I pick the 8th one, and then I can pick. And when I do, it's always told that we braid them as prayers, and so each of these are prayers of harmony, sharing, caring, respect, wisdom, humility, forgiveness. Those are prayers that are in this braid, and so it's very important. Another name for it is the hair of Mother Earth. So that we actually consider braiding the hair of Mother Earth, which is what this is another name for. Our tamawe is used in pipe ceremonies, and on pipe ceremonies it's very important that we use the sacred tobacco, not to abuse the tobacco, but to use tobacco in another way. And so tamawe is one of those medicines that we use, and here in our territory in New Brunswick, Maliseet Mi'kmaq territory, we use Nepskeekwunk, which is red willow tobacco, and we just use the bark of it. And of course, as I said, for offerings and to give gratitude, sage is to rid ourselves of negativity. Sometimes we carry negative thoughts and energies, and sages said that we can actually burn the negativity from us if we just, I think now they call it aromatherapy, but we've always been doing this. So sage is one of those things that as soon as you smell it, your emotion changes instantly. And so that's one of the other medicines that, of the 4 that we use the most. Cocahquok is cedar. And again, inviting positive energy. You'll see cedar in the sweat lodges when we go in, You'll see cedar sometimes over people's front doors, so that any negativity they may have, the cedar will cleanse that negativity. Cedar is used for headache. Cedar is used for death feasts, for births, for, there are just so many uses for cedar. So those are the 4 medicines, and I'll just go over them again. Ulima husk, Tamawe, sage, Cocahquok. Then the next thing we have to think about is our spirits. What spirits do we pray to? Cocahquok is how you say spirits. Cocahquok. Gaji Creator. And these are different ways of saying creator. So Gaji is one. Another one is Giziulina. And that literally means that it's the one who creates. It's neither male nor female. It's the one who creates. So culturally, we believe that we have both male and female spirits, and the right side of us is the essence of our male spirit, our grandfathers and our fathers, and the left side, where the heart is considered the female spirit. So Giziulinuk is both male and female spirits. Ginsuzuk are our ancestors, the ones who went before us. Ginsuzuk. And the next one, of course, we pray to Mother Earth. Chigikuwasan. Yep, and that's when you'll see people put tobacco and they'll offer it on Mother Earth. So there's probably more we can pray to, but these are basically the ones to get you started on being able to say, so Kachigawazit Wujokani, Creator, help me. Ginsozik, ancestors, teach me the language that I'm trying to find. Because a lot of times people think the elders have taken the language with them, and we try to tell them, no, they left the language behind. Because we can still look at our environment and we still have the language. And of course, giving gratitude to Mother Earth and not abusing her. This one is Debinuinak, who's looking out for us. Sometimes people feel that they're in solitude, but we've always been taught, oh no, we're surrounded by helpers. One of them is Gizos, and that's the sun. So we call the sun grandfather, and so the sun is one of those ones that protects us and watches over us. And in Malasi, Gizos literally means the one who walks during the day. Gizos. Nebauset is the grandmother moon, and so it's the one who walks during the night. So we have the one who walks during the day, Gizos. The one who walks at night is Nebauset. And just those words alone teach us they're not objects in the sky. There's a relationship that we have. Therefore, they're part of our relatives. They watch over us. And so if we call the sun grandfather and the moon grandmother, then it's a different relationship than saying the sun and the moon. So that's why our language is important, because we're losing all these relationships because we're not connecting ourselves back to the ones who watch over us. The other ones are B'Sezemek. Those are the star people. And we believe that our ancestors look out for us, and become those star people. Elders will tell you we have stars in the sky, but we also have stars among us. In the same way people believe of having angels, we believe the same way with the seismic stars. Aluhkiyik are the cloud people. And again, the same thing. That's why when you're on a summer day and you're laying on the grass and you're looking up at the clouds, we used to have these games on who did you see today in the clouds, and so it's wonderful for us to teach our children that you see those things in the clouds and stuff. So they're also protectors of us. The other one is Uwan, and that's actually the fog. And fog is one who warns us. to be careful, to be slower, to take it easy and not go through life so fast. So Owen is fog. And of course, we're surrounded by Sagaligabwol Diktit. Sagaligabwol Diktit. Yeah. Zagli is strength, or you're standing strong, you're rooted. When somebody says, oh, Sagaligabwol, they're standing firm in their belief system. And so who reminds us of doing that are the tree people. And that's why we call them Sagaligabwol Diktit. Another word for tree is Aluhkiyik, but Sagaligabwol Diktit tells about the character that they teach us, because all of creation are teachers for us, and Sagaligabwol Diktit are those ones that teach us to stay rooted against all storms, against all troubles that may come our way. And it's really important for us to remind ourselves where our roots are, because we're rooted to our culture. So that way we can stand strong against all adverse things that come our way. And of course, let's not forget about Wolastuk. And Wolastuk, of course, is the original name of our river. It's been called St. John. It's went through a few name changes. I think it was Fleuve St. John the Baptist in the beginning when Champlain came. And then French and English War occurred. And English felt that Fleuve St. John the Baptist was too long of a name for a river. So they gave it an English name, St. John. And to honor St. John the Baptist, which was the day, close to the day when Champlain first arrived to our territory. But nobody ever asked our ancestors, what was your name for the river? And for me, Wolastuk literally means beautiful and bountiful, because we were able to sustain ourselves from the river and be able to go wherever we wanted to because of all the tributaries that it offered us. And lucky, I'm very fortunate to have a memory of Wolastuk when I could still drink from her, and not have to buy bottled water. And today, I look at Wolastuk. My son was working on this project, and he said, what would you call Wolastuk today? Because it's no longer beautiful, it's no longer bountiful. And one of the elders said, Kamawastuk, meaning the poor river, or Ligawastuk, what pity, that it's not in the same way that we remembered it as a child. But, so Wolastuk is the river, and we do ceremonies. We go to the river. We have songs for the river, which Elder Gwen Bear left us a song of Wolastuk that will be one of the lessons that we'll do for the Wolastuk. So we have to teach our children to go back to the river and ask her for assistance, give gratitude, thank her, and ask her to bring the salmon back to us in the same way they used to be. Tell her we're sorry she's polluted. There has to be a relationship built, because we're called people of the river, Wolastukiyik. And sometimes people will use Wolastuk, like they'll say the Wolastuk people, but it's almost as if you're being redundant, because Wolastukiyik means the people of the river, so you don't have to say, the Wolastuk people. Wolastukiyik takes care of the people of the river. And so it's important for us to know that she's watching over us, even though we feel, she's not now. When we do our ceremonies like a smudge, here's your body, and this is where you direct your prayer to. Kniyagan, Seyok Ktulnapemok has means your head, so that you honor your thinking just for the day. That's why it has to be done every day. It's something that you want to do for your, you make sure that your mind guides you, and so that you can accept decisions that are difficult as well as the decisions that are easy for us to make. But we have to have those difficult decisions, and so we ask for this help, like just for today, may my thinking, be okay whether it's difficult decisions or easy decisions. Ksisko, Ktulnapemok, And that's for, let's give gratitude for what we see and not hurt our spirit by complaining about what we see. Too many times people will wake up and they complain right away, and that's not a good way to honor the gift of life. The best way to do it is to thank goodness I'm one of those ones that have been gifted with vision so that I can see the beauty of creation, and you look forward to what you're about to see. And it's your ears so that you can hear, creation. You can hear the different languages. You can hear the bird songs. You can hear the different sounds of the wind depending on the tree that they've chosen to blow through. We used to have lessons where we'd sit by the river. Our grandfathers, they'd have their canoes there, and we'd be sitting there, and they would just say, "Close your eyes." Then they'd ask us, "What did you hear?" And some of us would hear the water rushing up on the bank. Some of us would hear a fish jumping, and it was a way for us to listen to creation. And so it's very important to honor your hearing. And of course, Keaton, very good. And it like babies right now, I'm training babies to be able to smell the difference between sweetgrass, sage, cedar, or bare root or something else, so that when they become toddlers, they won't be afraid of these smells like they are today. So it's really important. And everybody has a smell that makes them feel good. It could be your mother's bread coming out of the oven or Tim Horton coffee. Smell is a gift that we take for granted. So regardless of what age, we still have, we have to honor the smells that make us feel good. And it's using your mouth to speak honorably about your language, but also to learn how to speak your language and to share it with others. Sometimes people have said Maliseet is just for Maliseet people. If that was true, then English would have been just for English people. French would have been just for French people. But it's important for us to learn each other's languages. So as well as we learned English, we also have to offer our language to others. There's a beautiful poem called "You Took My Talk" from Rita Joe, and that's what she said when she was in residential school. You took my talk. Now I talk like you and I think like you. But today I offer my language to you so you can talk like me and learn about me. And that's that idea. So it's very important not to take your language and think it belongs to you and only you. There's a time today where we have to teach anybody that wants to learn it. So that you can love. Love is the answer to everything, and I remember one of the words I learned in English as a child was hate. Somebody said, "I hate you" to somebody, and so I went back to my grandmother's, and she said, "Of all the English words that I want you to take away right now is the word hate, because if you use it, then you end up knowing what it feels like. And I don't want you ever to know what it feels like." So my sons would, if they said, "I hate broccoli," I would say, "Oh, you can't use that word. You have to say, I dislike the taste of it, but never hate, because I never want you to feel hate." And so it's really important for us to teach the words about love as well. Kbitino. Chil Kole Dwagan. Yeah, Kole Yud Wagan. And that means so that we respect things, so that we don't use our hands to abuse, to hurt, or to take things that don't belong to us. Quaddle. Chil Klamausawagan. Your earth walk. In the morning, you honor the bottom of your feet and you say, "Where are we going today? What is our purpose today?" So that at the end of the night, you thank your feet for where you've been. Today, I got to contribute to a language lesson. Today, I got to meet an elder. Today, I got to make somebody feel good because they were depressed, And we have to be conscious of where our feet take us during the day. So it's really important to take care of your feet. And that's why for babies, when they're born, we always kiss their feet because they haven't walked yet. Because we want to make sure that when they start walking, that, they'll be, everybody wants their child to be on the best path ever. So that's why feet are very sacred to us. Elders, I go to elders now and I ask if I could honor their feet. And I'll rub their feet and I'll say, thank you for the 80 years you've been here. Thank you for the 72 years you've been on this earth walk. Thank you for the 60-some years you've been here. So it's really important to honor and feet, because they take us to places we either want to be or don't want to be. So, and then of course, Ktulnapemok, our relatives. Where society teaches us to isolate ourselves. Let the Maliseet people do that. Let the Mi'kmaq people do that. Let the Celtic people do that. Let the Spanish people do that. But we're taught they're all our relatives. Ktulnapemok. Wabeyijik is the white family, and Wizaweyijik are the Asian family, and Mugazaweyijik are the African American families, or African families, the black families, or the black clan. Makweyijik are all the indigenous peoples, all the red family. It's important. This is when we're doing ceremony. Bogwat Dazigo. These are things that are earned for ceremony. A feather, Wipwin, is earned. Some people are lucky enough to find it on their journey, but even then, there are steps to be taken for them to earn the right to carry it or earn the right to share it. And sometimes you'll find a person that's deserving by the actions that they do that are so honorable that you don't mind giving your feather to that person. I gifted a feather yesterday because there was a young girl who talked about her struggle for not having her language and her culture, and she thought she could find it at a university, and she said how disappointing for her that she didn't find it there. And so she was appealing to us elders. Go to the universities, help us preserve our language, help us because there's young people who are waiting for it. So I gave her a feather because of her, journey. So I told her the feather was like her elder, and it'll be the one she can speak to and ask for how to save her language or how to find her language. The other one is Bukhulagan, and that's the drum. Anybody can have a drum, but you have to honor the process of the drum. So for example, when we make our own drum, as I think you've made your own drum, you have to honor the tree people who give you the rim for it. So for a while you have to go and thank the tree for a member of their family for being a part of your drum. Then you have to honor the animal it comes from. It could be elk, moose, deer, whatever hide it is, because it's usually made from the stomach of that animal. So we always have to honor, the animal that's gifted us with it. So, and then there's a process of keeping it covered, so that it doesn't get negativity from everyday trivial things and, worries. And so a drum is brought out when it's, when it's needed in song, in prayer, celebration, and you'll see the big community drum, and they actually have a drum keeper, and that will take care of that drum. The next one is Oftesdagen, and it's a shaker. It could be from a turtle shell. It could be made, like we have one from muskrat that we've made, and it's called the grandmother shaker, and it's made out of muskrat. And the sound for this, it comes from the chokecherry seeds, and has a really gentle, soft sound, and so there's different ones that are made, but it's said that when you shake it, you're asking for ancestors to surround you in the task you're about to take. So whenever you sound it, it's ancestors, I need you now in this situation. Kjiwudamagan is the sacred pipe. That's also earned. It's usually about 4 years of fasting and maybe some more, and lots of sacrifice. And then you have to be committed to being available for the people. It's not your pipe, it belongs to your people. And so when you're called upon, it could be middle of the night, you have to be able to say, I will smoke the pipe for you. You don't say, oh, I can't, this is a holiday. Oh, I can't, it's after 5, you know, so there's no time limit. So that's the promise you have to, you know, one of the things that you have to promise your people, that I will be your pipe carrier, and I promise when I'm needed, I will be there. So those are the things that are earned. And so you've got your, you know, who you pray to, and all that's earned. And of course, this is a prayer that's going to be, it was translated from Elder Gwen Bear, myself, and Christine Solis. And because we were, you know how sometimes people will ask an elder to say a prayer before an opening ceremony. Most elders thought the only thing that could be called a prayer was the Our Father. So we decided to translate this so that we would have something that comes from a First Nations perspective. Even though we've translated the Rosary, we also have this. It's called Skijinawinia Wagan. Skijinawinia Wagan. Very good to us. And it's Olgamach Gatchit Visit. Olgamach Gatchit Visit. Knodel. Edligalolian. Edligalolian. Wijausenak. Naduin. Abijil. Nil. Duazizo. Kboadamolan. Elsinian. Naga. Elida Hazian. And that just says, O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, hear me, for I am young, small, and weak. I seek your strength and wisdom. Gilawatan. Aluhkiyik. Naga. Ktulnapemok. And that just means I seek your strength, your wisdom. Okay. Danpsil. Gizi Gadawin. Nagwil. Adasimip. Nagabanapskuk. That you have hidden underneath every leaf and rock. Wejia. Gizi. Liptuak. Mausoinomuk. Dangil. So that I may take all the things that you have taught to my people.
Ktulnapemok, a blossom was known to Lewis, while a stuck gownel. Could we giz well abayud emia wagon, nagat Christine Solis gizloka dukben, naga Gwen Bear, naga nil. O gamach gatchit bezit, knodel et legalolian wijausenik, naduin, ibijil nil duazizo, nagan malfsam. Kboadamolan Elsinian, naga Elida Hazian. Gilawat on Ktulsan Wagan, O gamach gatchit bezit. Gatchiwa biamin ginsan ewan gadag ziwasak. Ganagwejigizimiga gamog biamogduid, nilde. Gilawat on Aluhkiyik wagan, nagaktagakid wagan. Dan psilgizigadu an nagwil at dasimip, nagabanapskuk. Wejib giziliptawag mausawinomok, dan gilidaman. Chil pamausawagnawal, nagakinida haswagnawal. Mejbal mejmion bitin o waleo da gasak psil, weli nagwak gizitun. Mejbal jalgasil mejmio nudask. Mejbal mejmio waliba mausian, weji walasiko, nagawalida haziko. Mejbal nanziskol namitag mekwayag nagapsiwel jitek, elipamiki ad gizos. Wejiaj dan bamausawagan, bamimachiak, the hollow gizos bamikiat. Jajak which Ktulnapemok, nagasgatagwaziwan, nidnilidam. O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, hear me, for I am young, small, and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. I seek strength, O Great One, not to be superior to my brothers, but to conquer my greatest enemy, myself. I seek wisdom, the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock, so that I may learn and carry this message of life and hope to my people. May my hands respect the many beautiful things you have made. My ears be sharp to hear your voice. May I always walk in your beauty, and let my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunsets. So when life fades like the setting sun, my spirit will come to you without shame. I have spoken. A prayer by the late Chief Dan George Waliwan.